Participating in the farming variety show. I became a scheming woman who hid behind my teammates. Farming and catching fish? It's too sunny. I don't want to go. Pranks and tricks? It ruins the image. Don't get involved. When I thought my little schemes were perfectly covered up, the movie king casually said, "Be careful. The abacus beads are bouncing on my face." Netizens, spicy comments, 800 scheming minds. Not a single sincere one. As an actress who is hated by netizens as a scheming woman, naturally, I can't get any good roles and can turn much money. So, when the farming variety show came to me, I agreed immediately, under the painstaking persuasion of my agent. Tarana, is there something wrong with your head? Don't you understand the intention of the program team? All the other guests have received full praise. You, who are surrounded by scandals, don't you know what this means? Do you understand the concept of a control group? I taught you to handle it coldly. After some time, when the public has forgotten all about it, won't it be fine for you to make a comeback? Rubbing my call-used ears, I showed her my mobile phone balance. Sis, I'm really short of money. The agent was silent. After a long time, she gave me a piece of advice. Then you must remember to think carefully before speaking. Under the scorching sun, I was very active and arrived at the recording site in advance. The director was also very happy to see me. He gave me a recording process and sent me to wait in the nearby farmhouse small villa. There were already 3 people sitting on the sofa in the living room. The golden movie king Madois, the diva of the music scene Mystique, the swimming champion, Rock Stun. Hello, teachers. I am Tarana. I smiled sweetly and bowed politely. Mystique and Rock Stun hurriedly stood up. Oh, there's no need to be so polite. I sat next to Mystique. Matois opposite me closed his eyes and rested the whole time without even lifting his eyelids. Not wanting to disturb him, I silently took out a makeup mirror and a powder puff from my bag. My makeup is so beautiful today. I can't let it smudge like this. Not even sparing the dead corners of my nose. I felt a hesitant gaze from beside me. I turned my head and met Mystique's gaze. Blinking, I handed over the powder puff. Sister Mystique, do you want some too? No need. Okay. I took it back and continued to touch up my makeup. Well, Sue. Mystique couldn't help but speak. Since you stepped into this room, the live broadcast has already started. No wonder they were all sitting upright just now. The live broadcast room was already in full swing with discussions. Please. How could there be a scheming woman like Tarana? What is the program team doing? Woo. Matois is so handsome. Why is he being used for publicity by someone like this? Popularizing to passersby. Tarana uses a stunt double in acting. She is both unknown and loves to cling to others. She is kept by a rich sponsor. And her face looks very scheming. It is recommended to ban her. No joke. Hearing Sister Mystique say this, I nodded suddenly in realization. Without stopping the powder puff in my hand, I said, is this how it is when I participate in a live variety show for the first time? Yes. It's live broadcast throughout. In the end, there will be an edited version that can be replayed. Rockstun gave a simple smile and explained. Mystique looked at me. Sue, I've heard of you. Am I so popular now? I was pleasantly surprised and blinked. Since I haven't collaborated with Mystique, how could she know me? An unknown and scandal-ridden person? All kinds of hot search topics floated through my mind again. I instantly understood and gave a sly smile. The rumored scheming woman. Right? Mystique didn't expect me to say it so bluntly and was stunned. Can this be said? Don't worry. Sister Mystique. I gave her a reassuring look. I just look scheming. In fact, I'm not like this. You'll know when you get to know me better. Mystique. Rock Stun. Matois opposite lazily lifted his eyelids and glanced at me. I put the powder puff back in my bag and took out a lipstick to continue touching up my makeup. Sue. Mystique flipped through her phone. After a second of silence. You seem to have accidentally liked a Weibo post just now. Is it the one that exposed me having a meal with a rich sponsor? After applying lipstick. I smiled brightly at the mirror. It wasn't an accident. Mystique. I pointed to the 9-square grid on her phone and blinked. Don't you think she took a very atmospheric photo? I look so fairy-like. She's so good at taking pictures. Mystique. Then this rich sponsor? Oh. It's the driver I just hired. For a moment. The live broadcast room was confused. Is Tarana missing the point? Since Tarana came in, she has been touching up her makeup. Has she considered the feelings of her seniors? Softly saying. Tarana also asked Queen Beyond if she wanted to touch up her makeup. Just after this little episode, a beautiful woman in white gracefully sat down beside me. The top actress Machi. The heroine of a popular youth pain drama some time ago. She is also the control group specially set up for me by this program team. Everyone understands. Because I am unknown and troublesome. While Macai's character in the drama is simple and kind. Participating in this variety show is only to upgrade her status further. It doesn't matter. I, Tarana, am used to being scolded. Smiling. I handed over the lipstick in my hand. Teacher, bye. Do you want to touch up your makeup? No need. Machi nodded faintly at me. Took off her sunglasses. Raised a smile. And began to greet others. Sister Mystique. Teacher Song. Teacher Lee. When everyone is here, we can start recording. Mystique stood up. Then let's start assigning tasks. Silently taking back the lipstick. It seems that Machi doesn't like me very much. Then I won't be too eager. We will live here for 3 days. The director team won't give us food or money. We need to find food by ourselves and exchange food for money. As the team leader, Mystique said. Before coming, I have investigated. There is a small river about 300 meters away from our house. There are fish in it. The water is quite shallow. We can eat fish at noon. Matois nodded. The extra fish can be exchanged with nearby farmers for rice and other food. Then I'll catch fish. Roxton was eager to try. Who will go with me? I silently took a step back. In such a hot day, catching fish by the river will probably sunburn me to death. Machi took the initiative to cue me. Tarana. Let's go catch fish with Brother Dolly. Sister Mystique and Teacher Som will stay in the house and take charge. She smiled sweetly, and was very harmless. At this time, Mystique was already moving the refrigerator in the kitchen. Although this is a small villa, the facilities are old. Even the refrigerator hasn't been used for a long time and needs to be cleaned again. Ma Toys. Come and help me move it. This is too heavy. Ma Toys then walked over. I looked at the busy Mystique and Ma Toys. And then at Roxton's eager gaze. I had no choice but to nod reluctantly. Okay. Wait for me. I put on a sun-protective clothing and a sun hat and covered myself tightly. Roxton gave a simple smile. Sue. Are you so afraid of the sun? Following them out of the small villa. I nodded. Yes. I'm allergic to ultraviolet rays. Huh. Macai's light chuckle reached my ears. I've heard of someone being allergic to ultraviolet rays for the first time. I glanced at her and didn't explain too much. On the contrary, the live broadcast room was already boiling with anger. I'm really fed up with this Tarana. Our Macai's skin is so delicate. But she didn't wrap herself up like a mummy like her. Why is she so delicate? She has no princess life, but all princess diseases. Didn't it say before that when filming? She had a lot of demands, and was arrogant and used to stunt double? She deserves to be unknown. Hilarious. If she's really allergic to ultraviolet rays, why did she come to participate in a farming variety show? Just lie at home. Walking all the way to the riverbank. The river water was crystal clear. Roxton took off his shoes and socks and stepped directly into the water to start catching fish with his hands. Machi beside him was already sweating profusely. I looked at her. Do you want to go down? I'm allergic to ultraviolet rays, so I won't go down. I can help you on the shore. Machi was stunned. Probably not expecting me to say this. For a moment, she was in a dilemma. I could guess that there must be all kinds of scolding voices for me in the live broadcast room. It doesn't matter. Life is important. I'm already unknown and criticized. Roxton continued to smile. It's okay. Machi and Su, you two can stay on the shore. It's not good for girls to soak in water. Thank you. Brother Dolly. Brother Dolly has worked hard. Machi gave a grateful smile and tidied up the messy clothes on the shore. I looked around and picked up a branch from the shade beside the pond. What are you doing? Tarana? Mac's dissatisfied voice was a bit complaining. Brother Dolly is so hardworking. How can you hide in the shade beside the tree and enjoy the fruits of others' labor? The fans in the live broadcast room followed her words and complained. Tarana makes me so disgusted that I almost vomit out last night's leftover food. It is recommended to ban her across the network. No joke. It's okay. You all rest. Roxton wiped his forehead. It's just that the fish is too slippery. It's a bit difficult to catch. I scanned Machi with my only exposed pair of eyes and handed over the branch folded into an oblique fern shape. Brother Dolly. Use this. This is. Don't move first. When the fish swims over, stab it 10 centimeters below the water surface obliquely. Remember to be fast, accurate, and ruthless. Roxton took the branch and weighed it twice. This branch is really straight. Me. Can't boys resist a very straight branch? Roxton used it smoothly. With the first stab, he caught a fish and threw it into the bucket. Brother Dolly is great. Machi excitedly clapped. Roxton gave a simple smile. It's all Su's credit. Machi was silent and didn't speak. I pouted and hid back in the shade again. After half an hour, our bucket was already full of fish prepared in advance by the director team. We are fully loaded and can go back. Along the way back, there were Mac's praises and Roxton's embarrassment. I kicked the stones board lie. I really don't like eating fish. What should I do at noon? As soon as the first floor door of the small villa was opened, Machi in front of me let out a scream. Catch it! Accompanied by Mystique's exclamation. I saw a bloody big rooster fly past in front of me. Wait. A chicken? My actions were faster than my thoughts. In the next second, I grabbed the chicken's throat. Warm blood slowly flowed from my fingertips. My eyebrows twitched. I looked at the shocked Mystique and Matoys inside the house. The tabletop, corners, and sofa covers inside the house were all stained with blood. It was very much like a crime scene. Oh my God. What are you doing? Roxton was directly stunned. Mystique's voice was almost crying. How could there be a creature that can still fly around the room after having its neck cut? The live broadcast room was already in an uproar. When the chicken flew out just now, Queen Bee's expression was so funny. It can be made into an emoji. It's bound to be a hot search. I've been watching Queen Bee on Kill the Chicken the whole time. I'm already laughing so hard in the live broadcast room. Seriously. Tarana's way of catching the chicken is quite professional. The big rooster in my hand was still full of energy. Its big eyes were looking around. It didn't have the slightest awareness of being slaughtered. Machi moved aside. I'm really afraid of this kind of beak thing. Mystique glared at Matoys. You insisted on exchanging this chicken with a farmer. But you haven't slaughtered it yet. A hint of unnaturalness flashed across Matevist's face. I'll try. Saying that, Matoys took out a bloody knife from the kitchen. Roxton. I looked at the big rooster in my hand and smiled contentedly. We can eat chicken at noon. Let me slaughter it. I held out my hand to Matoys. Mystique was surprised. Su, you can kill chickens? Yes. When I was a child, I even killed pigs in the village. Holding the chicken in one hand and the knife in the other, I took off my sun protective clothing and walked to the shaded pool in the yard. Mystique was like seeing a savior and immediately followed me, pressing the chicken's neck into the pool. I looked up at Mystique and whispered, "Then can I make a small request?" "Say it. Say it. It's too sunny outside. I don't want to go catch fish." In front of me. Mystique nodded vigorously. "I'll go catch fish. If you want to eat some, I'll catch as many as you want. I don't eat fish either. No need to catch it for me." After getting the answer I wanted, I smiled sweetly. With a quick movement, the water in the pool was instantly dyed red. Machi let out a cry and turned around to cover her eyes. First let the blood drain out, then scald it with boiling water, and pluck the feathers. I turned on the faucet and flushed the water while saying, "Chickens have wings and are already difficult to control. If there are not enough people, we can tie up the chicken first and then slaughter it." Mystique marveled. "Awesome. Sue. You really do kill the chicken when there is one." The chicken in my hand gradually stopped moving. I stretched my hand under the flowing water to wash it clean. Suddenly, Roxton beside me worriedly said, "Why is there a large patch of red spots on your arm?" I looked down. There was a patch of red spots on my left arm and another on my right wrist. It was shocking. Mystique came over anxiously. "I thought it was chicken blood staining just now. Why do you have some on your neck too?" Only then did I feel itchy on my neck belatedly. I reached out to touch it, but my wrist was held. Ma Toys came over with an umbrella, slightly frowning. "You are allergic." "Oh, right. I'm allergic to ultraviolet rays. It must be that the sun protection wasn't done properly when catching fish just now." Back inside the house, after getting the ointment provided by the program team, Mystique carefully applied it for me. Her tone was slightly reprobative. "Why didn't you say you were allergic to ultraviolet rays earlier? If I had known, I definitely wouldn't have let you go out and get sunburned." Machi looked a bit guilty and stood beside without saying a word. But thinking of her aggressive appearance earlier, I was a bit vindictive. Sighing slightly, I looked at Machi meaningfully and stopped talking as if I wanted to say something. "I didn't want to go just now. But Teacher Bai didn't know in advance. She definitely didn't mean to make things difficult for me. It's my problem. I should have made it clear. Don't blame Teacher Machi." The air suddenly became quiet. I looked up in confusion. "What's wrong?" The bullet comments in the live broadcast room paused for a moment. "Taranna. Is she being a green tea?" The director team was stunned. "Is playing tricks done so openly?" Mac I's heart was numb. "Sister, you are directly targeting me." The agent, Sister Zhao, who was watching the live broadcast, covered her face. "It's useless. Let's train a new account." Ma Toy, sitting on the sofa beside, coughed lightly to hide his smile. At this time, Roxton came in carrying a basin of a completely plucked chicken. "We can cook now." Mystique came to her senses and gave me a caring look. Sue. Let's take fewer stupid online drama roles in the future." I responded blankly. Are the bad dramas I took already so famous? Roxton put the chicken on the table in the open kitchen. "For lunch today, there are 5 of us. 2 fish. And half a chicken." Ma Tries was skillfully picking vegetables aside. "I think it's okay." Machi quickly left my side as if fleeing and rushed to the kitchen, busy with something in a flustered manner. As soon as I stood up, I was stopped by Mystique. Sue, you are the great hero who killed the chicken. Just rest." I nodded. "Okay. Thank you, Sister Mystique." Sitting down with a plop, I poured a glass of water with a smile and started to flatter. "Sister Mystique, you are all so amazing. You can also cook. The food I make at home is all dark cuisine." Mystique. The viewers in the live broadcast room were confused. How does Tarana's little scheming manage to be so clearly seen? When she doesn't want to work, she starts to praise others. There is a feeling of helplessness, as if holding a sword and looking around in confusion. It turns out that Tarana is really allergic to ultraviolet rays. Then using a stunt double for the scenes under the scorching sun before was also out of necessity. After all, there are still scenes later. She can't continue filming with this appearance, right? In the kitchen, Roxton asked while scraping the fish scales. Sue, if you are allergic to ultraviolet rays, what should you do when filming? I generally don't take on dramas in summer. I try to take on indoor dramas as much as possible. If there is really no other way, I can only use a stunt double. I took a sip of water. Mystique sighed. Then you must have suffered a lot. I nodded in full agreement. Who said it wasn't so? If my body wasn't so delicate, I wouldn't be scolded while still not earning much money. The dishes were served. The 5 of us sat around the dining table, eating and chatting. Our chicken was exchanged with the neighboring farmer on credit with fish. So, in the afternoon, we need to return the fish first. Let's split into 2 teams. One team goes to the field to pick some vegetables and corns, and the other team goes to the market to sell fish. Mystique arranged the afternoon schedule, looking at the braised chicken leg in front of me. I was so hungry. It seemed that no one was staring at this. Then I could. Just as I stretched out my chopsticks, the big chicken leg was picked up by another pair of clean serving chopsticks and put into my bowl. Matoise remained expressionless and said faintly, "Eat quickly. After you are full. We have work to do." A bit flattered, I nodded repeatedly and started to eat quickly. They didn't notice this little movement here and began to discuss how to form teams in the afternoon. There was some expectation in Makai's eyes. Can I go to the market to sell fish with Teacher Song in the afternoon? I want to try. Sure. Mystique nodded. I have no problem going to pick vegetables in the afternoon. Machi looked at me a bit unnaturally with a caring meaning. Then you. Just rest at home. I have no problem here. I put down the big chicken leg I was holding and blinked. Really? Can I really? Can I be lazy again? No. Mystique directly refused. Sue still needs to participate in our activities. The tricycle provided by the program team has a sunshade. Sue, you work hard on doing more sun protection in the afternoon and go to the market to sell fish with Natoys and others. I let out a disappointed, "Ah," and then started to continue gnawing on the big chicken leg. I knew it. After eating this chicken leg, I definitely had to pay it back. At this time, the bullet comments were already flying all over the screen. Hilarious. After accepting Tarana's delicateness and affectation, seeing her little schemes is somehow a bit cute. My brother's song is so nice. He saw that Tarana wanted to eat the chicken leg and took the initiative to give it to her. Woo. Upstairs. Although our Queen Beyond seems a bit strict, she is actually very kind-hearted. She must be afraid that Tarana will be left out of the team and easily gets colded. That's why she must pull Tarana along. After eating and working, Mystique and Roxton went together to carry half a bucket of fish to negotiate with the farmer. Matoise, Machi, and I looked at the tricycle in front of us in dismay. This. It's actually a human-powered tricycle. The program team is so cruel. We need to carry the remaining half bucket of fish to the market. And it's 2 kilometers away. Just walking is already extremely hot. Then the person riding the bike will definitely be exhausted. There are 3 people. 2 girls. The one riding the bike must be Natoys. I decisively took out a weighing scale from the corner and started to comfort him. Teacher's song. I weigh 96 pounds. I'm not heavy. Matoys. Machi was stunned for a moment, and then quickly followed. I weigh 94 pounds. I'm not heavy either. Matoys helplessly rubbed his forehead. It's okay. You 2 get on the bike first. I can ride it. My gaze was on the clearly visible 94 on the weighing scale. How could it be? I am clearly 1 centimeter shorter than Machi. How could I be heavier than her? There must be something wrong. Silently throwing away my phone, I stood on the scale. 95 pounds. Good. I continued to throw away the keys, sunscreen, and earphones in my pocket. 90 for pounds. Just as I was about to take off my sun hat and sun protective clothing, Matoys finally couldn't bear it anymore and pulled me off the weighing scale. Okay. I know you are not heavy. Hurry up and get on the bike. The bullet comments in the live broadcast room were frantically scrolling. Tarana can lose 2 pounds by throwing away her scheming. My brother Song's expression can be recorded in history. Impatient but still coaxing. GF Machi, it's over. It's aimed at me. The journey to the market was very smooth. Matoys pedaled the tricycle for 20 minutes without changing his expression or breathing hard. It seemed that my compliments all the way were very effective. Machi also found an opportunity to directly apologize to me, saying that it was a misunderstanding before. We shook hands and made up. However, selling fish was not very smooth. Our fish are small crucian carp. The market price is about 15 yuan per catty. Around 20 yuan for one fish. We brought 10 fish. If all are sold successfully, we can earn 200 yuan. This 200 yuan will be our living expenses for the next 2 days for the 3 of us. However, there are special stalls selling fish in this market. And the crucian carp there are bigger than ours and cheaper. We just stood aside with a small bucket. It was very shabby. There was no reason for passersby to buy our fish. Matoys, relying on his handsome face and popularity, stopped several enthusiastic aunties. Hello. We are recording a program. Would you like to take a look at our fish? Oh, young man. Your fish is just for your own consumption. No one will buy it. The aunties smiled and admired Matevist's good looks and then turned around and left. Machi was also very anxious and stopped passersby. Hello. Buy our fish. They are all caught by ourselves. They are very delicious. I can give you my autographed photo. Oh. What do I want your autographed photo for? No, I won't buy it. The passersby left very resolutely. Matoys and Machi were sweating profusely in the sun and were very anxious. Machi looked at me sitting under the sunshade of the tricycle repercholfi. Tarana. I know you are allergic to ultraviolet rays. But can't you also help think of a way? The bullet comments in the live broadcast room started to attack me again. But it doesn't matter. Don't worry. Don't worry. I got off the tricycle fully wrapped up. I took out the large blackboard I had just borrowed from the neighboring stall. Matoys was stunned for a moment. Looking at the words on the blackboard, he slowly read, "Destined release?" I raised my eyebrows slightly. It's taking an unconventional approach. Just now when passing by the end of the market, there was a small temple of the god of wealth. Next to it was a river. It was an excellent location. Machi was skeptical. Will it work? I grinned. Let's try. Anyway, you haven't sold them yet. As soon as we set up the stall in the shade opposite the Temple of Wealth, a young couple came. The girl's eyes were bright. Are you recording a program? What does destined release mean? I said mysteriously. Crucian carp means good luck and prosperity. Releasing them accumulates blessings. The girl's boyfriend casually asked. Then how much is one? As soon as Machi opened her mouth, she was stopped by me. I smiled. Give as you wish. This is fate. Machi looked at me with a puzzled gaze. Matoys timely added. It's like the incense money in a temple. It accumulates blessings for oneself. The implication is, the more you give, the more blessings you accumulate. I blinked. Matoys is also quite scheming. The young couple each chose one fish and skinned 66 yuan. Several young people around continued to gather, and all said they wanted to release the fish. In 10 minutes, the bucket was empty. Income, 532 yuan. Wow. This method is really useful. Machi was happy. Then we have exceeded expectations. Our living expenses are secured. Matoys held the bucket in one hand and the blackboard in the other. It's over. Let's go home. I stood still. Is it over? He turned to look at me. I pointed at the fully stocked fish in the market. My eyes shining. What a great source of goods. What a great business opportunity. Machi was directly stunned. The live broadcast room was confused. Tarana's scheming. She deserves to make money. The director team was shocked. I've recorded so many variety shows. This is the first time I've seen such a bold move. Matoys gave me a leisurely look. Be careful. The abacus beads are bouncing on my face again. By the time it was dark, we had earned 4,000 yuan. We donated 1,000 yuan to the Temple of the God of Wealth to accumulate merit. The three of us happily went home with 2,000 yuan. Matoys seemed to be in a good mood too. Even pedaling the tricycle was faster. As soon as we entered the house, Macai's voice was full of excitement. Sister Mystique. We earned 2,000 yuan. Matoys followed behind. It was all Su's idea. Really? Mystique had a bitter look on her face. We owe 2,000 yuan. Me? Huh? Aha h. A cooked 2,000 yuan flew away. Damn the program team. I can prove that just now Queen Bee on really cursed very dirty. It's all muted. Tarana's stunned expression just now is actually a bit cute. In the afternoon, Mystique and Rockstun went to deliver fish to the farmer as agreed and then exchanged some green vegetables. After coming back and tidying up the room for sleeping at night, they found that only the air conditioner in one bedroom could work. But Rockstun couldn't find the reason after repairing it for a long time. So the program team started to quote a price. The cost of repairing the air conditioner was 500 yuan. I asked. Isn't it 500 yuan? How did it cost 2,000? Mystique turned to the camera and gave a deathly smile. We successively repaired the air conditioner, refrigerator, light bulb, and roof. Me. Mystique put the remaining half chicken back in the refrigerator and said to save it for tomorrow. The cooked chicken flew away. As I was gnawing on a corn, my stomach growled. The program team is really scheming. At this time, the cameraman who had been following me interjected. No. It's still Teacher Meng who is more scheming. I gave him a resentful look. So it's you guys. I'll remember. In the middle of the night, Mystique and Machi were sleeping soundly. I turned over and my stomach growled again. So hungry. I climbed out of bed. As soon as I walked out of the bedroom door, I found the kitchen light was on. I tiptoed over and saw Matevist's figure. He looked up and met my gaze. His eyes were a bit lazy. Hungry? My stomach growled very timely. I couldn't hold back my face. Teacher's song. Are you hungry too? No. I'm just pouring a glass of water. Me. He opened the refrigerator and took out a bowl wrapped in plastic wrap. Inside was the half chicken that had been blanched. You've been tired all day. It's only right to replenish your strength. Thinking that others were still sleeping soundly while I was secretly eating in the kitchen wasn't appropriate. I hesitated. This isn't good. They are all sleeping. Okay. In the next second, the chicken was put back in the refrigerator. Me. The fans who were still staying up late in the live broadcast room burst out laughing, ha ha ha. My brother's song is really good at dealing with scheming people. Hilarious. 100 scheming minds. None of them are sincere. By the way, Tarana came to the kitchen in the middle of the night, just to secretly eat. Right? This isn't appropriate. Upstairs. Although Tarana has a bad reputation, she was also very tired, and worked hard this day. Didn't she kill the chicken? Didn't she think of making money? What's wrong with eating more? Looking at the tightly closed refrigerator door, I was extremely sad. Why did I refuse just now? I should have just agreed directly. Woo. How can I get through the rest of the night? There was a light chuckle in front of me. Matoys started boiling water in a pot and skillfully threw in chopped corn pieces. He took out the chicken pieces again and scooped a spoonful into the pot. I blinked. Is this made for me? Just say it directly next time if you have a need. Matevist's voice was faint, but one could hear a bit of laughter. I felt that he had a second half of the sentence that he didn't say. Don't play such easily seen through scheming again. Smelling the aroma in the air, Thank you. Teacher song. Just call me by my full name. Matoys scooped a bowl of corn and chicken soup and handed it to me. Calling me teacher is too formal. Okay. As soon as I turned around with the bowl in my hand, I was met with 3 gazes that seemed to glow green. Roxton gave a simple smile. I really didn't sleep well. I was even eating chicken in my dream. Machi had a bitter face. Eating a midnight snack probably won't make me gain weight. Mystique covered her stomach. Otherwise, let's make soup with the rest. I smiled brightly. Okay. The next day, we finally realized how sinister people can be. There were no fish left in the original river. The market didn't allow setting up stalls. And the remaining half chicken was also eaten up by us last night. The director timely provided a new idea. A farmer 1 kilometer away has an orange orchard. We can go and help sell oranges to make money. Hearing this, even the always good-tempered Roxton started to get angry. Is the director team playing with us? Can't they bear to see us live a good life? It's so hot today. Do we have to ride the tricycle back and forth and transport these 2 margins? Machi sighed. I looked around. Where's Sister Mystique? She's arguing with the director team. Matoys nodded at me. Yes. She's cursing very dirty. Me. How dare they plate tricks on me like this? Does the director have a lot of mothers? Mystique came back from outside and was directly amused. Her hair was almost standing on end. No one dared to mediate. Roxton finally carefully asked. Then, did the director team give in? Mystique's eyes were on fire. No. The air was quiet again. Matoys pondered for a while, and then went to get the key to the tricycle. There's no other way. We can only go. Actually, there should be another way. I said softly. Everyone's gazes were on me. I counted on my fingers and tentatively said. In fact, the program only requires us to be self-reliant. It's a disguised rural survival. There is no stipulation in the contract that we must do as the director team requires. It's just that they have blocked all our other ways now, and forced us onto this path. Machi didn't understand. So? I was full of fighting spirit. Now we still have more than a dozen corns exchanged yesterday and a small half bag of rice. We can just eat rice and corn these 2 days. We probably won't starve to death. They were slightly stunned. I blinked at the cameraman and smiled. Anyway, the director team will only set obstacles for us. If we successfully sell oranges for the fruit farmer today, maybe tomorrow we will be forced to shovel manure for the pig farm. I shook my head. Exploitation is the essence of capitalists. And I just want to be lazy. The room was quiet. After a few minutes, Mystique gave a thumbs up. Brilliant. The 5 of us completely gave up in the farming variety show. To prevent heat consumption. Except for coming out to get a corn during meal times. We just lay in the room the rest of the time. The cameramen held up their cameras and circled around us. Their WeChat step count for the day ranked NO. 1. We stared blankly at the ceiling without being moved at all. We just didn't create any variety show materials for them. Netizens were very enthusiastic about watching the excitement. The number of people in the live broadcast room was unprecedentedly high. After all, there is no variety show that broadcasts stars sleeping. On the 3rd day, the director team finally couldn't sit still and came over to apologize profusely. We will edit out a whole episode of our variety show in the end. We can't just keep editing you sleeping all the time. Let's still complete the tasks. You set the conditions. We will try our best to meet them. Seeing the simple and hopeful smile on the fruit farmer uncle's face, Mystique reluctantly pointed to the tricycle for Matoys. Change it to an electric tricycle with a sunshade for me. The director team. No problem. Machi thought for a while. Since we are going to help the fruit farmer sell oranges, then don't restrict us anymore. The messy regulations like not allowing setting up stalls in the market should also be cancelled. The director team. Sure. Roxton patted his growling stomach. Give us another one. The director team. We'll catch it right away. It was my turn. I happily said. Bring 5 more Michel and king crab. The director team gritted their teeth. Okay too. The bullet comments in the live broadcast room were extremely hot. The director team directly lifted a rock and their own feet. They deserve it. Hilarious. I didn't expect my brother's song to change to an electric tricycle without hesitation. He was really tired the day before yesterday. But brother's song. Wouldn't it be better to change to a luxury car directly? The foodie duo Rockstan and Tarana. I ship it. But it's also very sweet when my brother's song makes soup for Tarana. Familiar with the process. The 5 of us directly loaded several baskets of oranges and rushed to the market. This time, there was a difference. We actually saw a lot of. The director team was very headache. After 2 days of live broadcast, the recording location was directly exposed. The field controller was controlling the situation. The fans were also very civilized. Just when our car stopped, it caused a commotion. My brother's song is so handsome. Ma toys. Ma toys. Queen Beyond. Can you give me an autographed photo after the show? Choo choo. Smile. Woo woo woo. OMG. I really saw this kind of scene for the first time. But Mystique and the toys were already used to it and smiled and nodded at the fans. Sue Sue. Tarana. A voice penetrated through the heavy resistance and entered my ears. I was stunned and looked around. Someone was calling me? A little girl waved at me. When I looked over, she and several girls around her suddenly stomped their feet excitedly. Sue Sue. You are so cute. We are your fans. I was even more surprised. Oh my god. I saw eel fans. They burst out laughing. Sue Sue. Keep working hard. We are your scheming fans. Are you sure you are not anti-fans? My shoulder was patted. Matois couldn't hide the smile on his lips. Let's go. Sell oranges. Rockstan was stuffed with a lot of food and embarrassed I put it on the car. The director team won't let us sell to fans. What should we do? Mystique gave an evil smile. It didn't say we can't give it away. Machi nodded in agreement. Yes. It's so hot today. They came from so far away. It's not easy. We reached an agreement. We gave our inches to the fans right under the eyes of the director team. The director team wanted to stop us but couldn't and had to give up. In a short while, we gave out all the oranges. But our wallets were empty. How could we explain to the fruit farmer uncle when we went back? We crouched in the tricycle and plotted. If it really doesn't work, we can just give the 4,000 yuan we got back from the director team directly to the old uncle. Mystique suggested. Rockstan scratched his head. Then what about the remaining oranges? There is no one at the old uncle's house. He definitely won't let the remaining oranges rot in the field by himself. And his health is not very good. Actually, we have quite enough people today. I said. 4 pairs of gazes were on me. What do you mean? I tentatively put forward an idea. Orchard farmhouse. It can be implemented today. The ticket is 20 yuan per person. You can take away 5 cat ties of oranges. Anyway, there are so many fans today. We might as well do something since we are idle. The director team. The fans. Are we a part of your game? Mystique slapped her thigh. Brilliant. The program team couldn't stop us. The fans were very cooperative. A large group of people took taxis and rushed directly to the orange orchard in a mighty way. The fans were extremely civilized. They lined up without fighting or rushing. I and Rockstan were registering people and handing out toll baskets and controlling the flow of people in the orchard. The remaining 3 handsome men and beautiful women began to soothe the queuing fans with their good looks. In fact, this could also be considered an offline star meeting. The bullet comments in the live broadcast room were all jealous and red-eyed. The fruit farmer uncle standing aside was smiling with deep wrinkles on his face. Seeing that they couldn't stop it, the director team contacted the local government to do public welfare publicity for this small village. By the end of the day, it was not until 10 o'clock at night that all the fans were safely evacuated. There were also very few oranges left in the orchard. Everyone was so tired that they just lay down directly without caring about their images and sat on the ground. Ma Toys took off his shirt, revealing the pure white t-shirt inside. The shirt was casually thrown on the weedy ground. The weeds on the ground were still very prickly. I was wearing shorts. I silently moved towards his shirt beside me. He chuckled and put the shirt over. Sit on it. Okay. Thank you. The fruit farmer uncle picked a plate of oranges and came out and sat beside us. Mystique wiped the sweat and smiled. Uncle, you can run a farmhouse in this orchard in the future. After the show is recorded, I will find someone to come and arrange it for you. Machi agreed. Yes. Our program team also advertised your village on TV. You will definitely make a lot of money later. Oh. No matter how much I earn. I live like this. My children are all in other places. They are very busy. I can't come back a few times throughout the year. The uncle looked up at the sky. There was a deep longing in his eyes. Usually, I am the only old man staying here. It's so nice to see so many young people like you today. The uncle took out an abrupt pink glove with a smile. This afternoon, a little girl gave it to me. She said she had caused me trouble. This is not trouble at all. I hope to see you all every day. It should be that a certain Finn secretly gave it to the uncle. Thinking of the girls who cheered me on in the afternoon, I felt warm inside. What would the world be like without girls? Roxton empathized and wiped away a tear. We will come to see you often in the future. Uncle? Later. Everyone was so sleepy from chatting that they just lay down on the ground directly. Smelling the fresh country air and looking up at the starry night sky. Turning my head, I met the gaze that had been looking at me all along. I blinked and then smiled at him. I really like it here. Matois smiled and turned his head to continue looking at the night sky. Well, I like it too. 17 Epilogue. After the variety show ended, Mystique kept her word and directly hired a team to help the uncle take care of it. Roxton became a free publicity ambassador. The local government took advantage of the situation and turned the small village into a tourist village and set up a huge farmhouse. The fans were also very supportive and turned the small village into an internet-famous check-in spot. I quickly got up from the bed, holding my mobile phone without even wearing slippers. Sister Jia. Sister Jia. Sister Jia. I have fans. Active fans. 2 million. Sister Jia made a cup of coffee and gave me a reproculous look. What's the fuss? So unsophisticated. I hugged my mobile phone and lay on the sofa grinning foolishly. Then can my film salary finally increase? I see that there are quite a lot of people online who ship you in Roxton. Why don't you create a CP with him? I immediately jumped up. Roxton is a national athlete. What status do I have to create a CP with him? Sister Jia thought for a while. Then Mystique? The domineering diva and the scheming little flower? Or Machi? You two didn't get along at first but became harmonious later. It's also very ship-worthy. It seemed that something was missing. I opened my mouth in confusion. Why don't you let Matois create a CP with me? Sister Jia was drinking coffee and was choked and coughed several times. She looked at me speechless. Lie. What's your status? You want to create a CP with him? Aren't you afraid of being torn to pieces by his fans? Matois is a movie king. He never creates scandals. And it is said that it is very difficult to add his WeChat. A female star was publicly rejected when she added him before. I looked down at my mobile phone in confusion. Matevist's profile picture was quietly lying in the list. Is it very difficult to add? This was after the variety show ended. Matois took the initiative to add me. The mobile phone vibrated. It was a message on the Weibo interface. Many fans were frantically messaging me. What's going on? I clicked in. It was a Weibo post mocking me by a marketing account. Hilarious. Those who ship Matois and Tarana. Please wake up. Tarana, a scheming woman, has been whitewashed by the variety show. Does she really think that her status can be with Matois? Please. Will Matois really like Tarana? If he likes Tarana, I will live stream doing a handstand and washing my hair. This Weibo post was quite popular. There were also fans who defended me. But Matoys actually forwarded this Weibo post and added a caption. Let's see the handstand hair washing. A very concise sentence. By the way, I also want to see the handstand hair washing. I casually liked it. Then belatedly, my fingertips paused. What does it mean? Realizing it, my heart beat faster. In a flustered manner, I cancelled the like. I clicked on the dialog box with Matoys with tears in my eyes. Just as I was about to explain, a message came from the other side. Literally, I will like. I was a bit stunned. Huh? After a long time of typing, on the other side, a voice call came. After answering, it was Mateva's somewhat restrained magnetic voice. I know I'm being a bit abrupt. If I say I want to see you now, can I go find you? Sister Zha, who witnessed the whole process, immediately picked up her bag and opened the door. She walked quickly. These young people nowadays. In broad daylight. Me. Seeing that I didn't reply. Matoys on the other end of the phone was a bit hesitant. Is it a bother? No. I immediately denied it. I just thought for a while. I want to drink corn and pork rib soup today. There was a light chuckle from the other end. Okay.